Assalamu alaikum viewers. I'm here for your lectureship preparatory classes. So it's our second session, and today inshallah we will go with these literary forms and genres. So different genres of literature are equally important for the students, or especially for the candidates or the aspiring teachers, that they should have a very comprehensive knowledge regarding these genres and different literary forms. But before starting my actual lecture, let me explain one inquiry that was very much there by different candidates. What should be the course outline of this exam? So let me explain and let me clear to all of you that we have no definite course outline and we have no definite book available in the market, or neither it can be confined. It's an open-ended kind of exam where most of the time PPSC examiners, they concentrate on different areas that they have defined for the candidates to show their abilities, to show their understanding of the subject. So when it comes in general terms regarding language or regarding English, so different areas are there. For example, when we talk about English, we talk about English language first of all. Then when we talk about English, we talk about English literature. And now we have a third dimension, that is linguistics. Again, linguistics is gaining importance, so different concepts are there. Just wait for a few minutes. Different areas are there to explore. Let me repeat, you must have a very comprehensive knowledge about language. You must have a very solid grip on literature, and then you must have a very clear concepts regarding linguistics, and then ELT, even ELT, some concepts regarding teaching, because you are going to be a teacher. So it is supposed that the aspiring candidates, they must have the basic knowledge of being a teacher, the basic knowledge of being a good teacher, okay, how they have to deliver. And especially when we relate this topic to language, and it is English language, and hearing language is with us, this English language as a second language. So what are the rules, what are the skills, what are the principles that we have to focus on this kind of learning experience that we have as far as English is our second language. So all these areas you have to cover. So I can't say, okay, this is confined. No, this is not confined. You have to start preparing right from your intermediate level. From your intermediate you have to move to your graduation level. From graduation you have to move to your master's level, and then towards the practical utility or the general concepts related to grammar, related to linguistics, related to the language skills that are very much with us. So that's my personal, and that's the real opinion, and that's a fact. No book is there in the market that can cover all these areas. It is impossible that a single book of MCQs is enough for you to go to the market, buy the book and start cramming those MCQs. That is half-hearted attempt, and there is no reward for such half-hearted attempt, and there is no shortcut to this kind of competitive exam. There is no shortcut, let it be very clear. So what I wanted to do is, my students, the people who are related to me, who wanted to learn something from me, they have to learn comprehensively. They have to work hard. They have to show their commitment. So I need your full-time commitment. I need your exact concentration, and I need your determination as well. So let me take it from another angle, because we are all professionals. So most of you are maybe stuck in different professional activities in your routine life, but keep it in mind one thing, This is not university exam. This is not a college exam. It is something different. It is something absolutely different. You are going in a competition. So first of all, there should be urge in you to compete. So competition urge is extremely important. And what is the requirement of the competition? It is a cutthroat competition. Keep it in mind. It is a cutthroat competition. So what you have to do is, you have to put some extra energy, extra effort. You have to make a full-fledged concentrated effort to get a success and to make it a successful story. It is a lifetime achievement. You should be very clear about it. It should not be a half-hearted attempt. So for a lifetime achievement, you have to put extraordinary effort, because we have very, very limited time period. We have very limited time period, at least that's my personal opinion. You are going to cover the whole learning that you have up till now. It is a test of your whole learning experience, right from your schoolhood up till the university level. So that's my concern. So the areas, so one thing is clear, there is no shortcut. One more thing is clear, there is no syllabus book. There is no course outline. What I am going to deliver to you people is from my own personal experiences, because I am involved in teaching for the last 25 years. So I have got a lot of experience from my own personal experiences. I have come to this conclusion. That you have to put maximum efforts with comprehensive preparation. With comprehensive preparation, there should be no shortcuts. And what kind of comprehensive preparation should be there? You have to prepare your master's syllabus. You have to prepare your grammatical concepts. You have to revise your parts of speech, then figures of speech, then these literary forms and genres, then the history of English literature. Then you must have a very clear concept regarding the important authors that are related to English literature. All the authors, they may be poets, they may be dramatists, they may be the novelists or the fiction writers, and right up to the contemporary age, because it's a long age. Ages are there, right from the Greek age up till the contemporary age in the 21st century. We have to cover the whole scenario. So a lot of diversity is there, as far as the writers are concerned, as far as the genres are concerned. We don't have just dramas. We have tragedies, we have comedies, we have tragicomedies, we have one-act plays, we have five-act plays, we have absurd plays, we have epic plays. So a diversity, a lot diversity is there, and the diversity leads us towards diversity in writing styles as well. So what are the styles of those writers that we are going to deal with? We should be clear about it. One more thing is there, when we talk about history, so sometimes ages matter and sometimes even years matter. So this is important. When you are going to prepare any writer, it may be a poet, it may be a dramatist, whoever he or she is, you have to be very clear what is his or her age, what is his or her specific area of expression. So we should not confine ourselves. Rather, here you will get a chance to broaden your spectrum. So from historical perspective, you have to prepare the ages, the years, the publications, the works that those writers have done, and the contemporary era that was very much there around those writers. That you should be familiar with that. So history, and one more thing is there, most of the paper, a very major part of your paper consists of English literature history. So it matters. At least 20 to 25% questions, 20 to 25% questions, they are related to history of English literature. So that's my specific area where I would request to all of you, it is a suggestion, it is a humble kind of a suggestion, that you should focus on the history of English literature. From there you will get a lot. And here in these sessions, in the coming weeks, we will also take up different ages. For example, we have Greek age, then we have Chaucer's age, that was the early years of English literature. Then we have Milton's age, then we move towards Restoration, Renaissance, then we move towards Romantic age, Victorian age, Industrial age, 20th century, and then the postmodern age. So all these ages matter, and all these ages are important from our study perspective. We have to go into the depth of the things to concentrate, okay, which work was written by which writer and when it was written, and what was its specific importance, what kind of genre the work belongs to. Romantics, they were involved in different kind of writing style. Milton age or Elizabethan age or Chaucer's age, they had a different kind of poetic diction that was introduced. As we have seen in Milton, it was a blank verse at its best, and then we have seen a very common language phrases in Wordsworth's romantic poetry. So a lot of difference. So you have to focus on all these areas. So history is important, and you have to explore, you have to investigate, right from the Greek age, Greek drama, up to the contemporary age. So it all depends on your extensive reading, because we are short of time. That's the thing. The books that you have to read in casual manner, or in weeks or in months, you have to read in a days. So the first step for your proper learning, as far as this paper is concerned, PPSC lectureship paper, that is the history of English literature. You have to focus on it. Then the parts of speech, as far as grammar and language is concerned, so we have a lot of areas to cover. Parts of speech, at least you have a comprehensive grip on those parts of speech. And then the sentence structure, that matters. You must have a grip on the sentence structure, and then the other areas or the other technicalities associated with those structures of the sentences. So you have to focus on those areas as well. That is the grammatical section of your preparation. Then comes the linguistic section. So we have sociolinguistics, we have psycholinguistics, we have these syntax and phonetics and this and that, for phonemes and syllables and this and that. All these areas we will cover systematically. It's not very extensive list of preparation, but it is a part of the game. We have to prepare some linguistic concepts, major basic concepts of linguistics for our paper. Then after that, there comes another area, that is ELT, English language teaching. As you know, there are 4 skills involved in English language learning, or in any language learning. That we have listening skills, we have speaking skills, we have reading skills, then we have writing skills. So all these skills are related to different specific areas of communication. So definitely we must have a knowledge of these areas as well. So these are the things which, let's come to your MA syllabus. You have 10 papers in MA. You have 10 papers, 9 papers are compulsory, and the 10th paper, that is optional paper. So you may skip the 10th paper, but 9 papers you have to prepare. Let me tell you, it is poetry, classical poetry and modern poetry. Classical poetry is very much there in MA part 1. And modern poetry is very much there for modern, and romantic poetry is there for MA part 2. So you have to prepare all the poems that were there in your master's syllabus, and you have to prepare all the poems that were there for your classical poetry. So 2 areas are there as far as the poetry paper is concerned. One is MA part 1 poetry, and the other one is MA part 2 poetry. You have to revise those things which you have already gone through. The second is the same is the case with drama. We have the classical drama, that is a part of MA English part 1. Then we have the modern drama, as you are very much familiar. Shakespeare was there in classical drama, Marlowe was there. There is a Greek tragedy, Sophocles, I hope you have read, because these writers are very important as far as classical drama is concerned. Sophocles, then comes Marlowe, then comes Shakespeare, so they are included in classical dramas. And we have modern dramatists in MA Part 2. So you have to revise those dramatists. We have Beckett, Samuel Beckett, Waiting for Godot, that is included in your MA syllabus. You have to go through, there is no need to go through the text. There is no need to go through the text, but the basic things related to these dramas, these poems and these novels and short stories that we are going to deal with. We have Beckett in MA Part 1. Then we have Edward Bond, The Sea is there, Cherry Orchard, and Chekhov is there, Russian writer. Then you have one or two more writers as far as MA English Part 2 drama is concerned. So Cherry Orchard, The Sea, Waiting for Godot, and then Hedda Gabler. Yes. So you have to focus on these writers, these plays. You have to revise them. Let's come to the next level, that is fiction or novel, you may say. Then you have classical novel in MA English Part 1. It was Dickens, it was Jane Austen, George Eliot. They are included in MA English Part 1. And when we move to MA English Part 2, so we have modern writers. So modern writers, when it comes the modern fiction writers, so we have again a diversity. So all the modern writers that you have done in your at your master's level, you have to prepare them. You have to revise them. And again, I repeat, there is no need to read the whole text. No need. We have no time actually to read the text. You have to focus on the journal qualities, the journal information related to that novel. Let me tell you, for example, we have a play, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. So you must know what you have to know about this play. What kind of a play it is? It is an absurd play, yes. It is related to existentialism, yes. It is related to nothingness, yes, as far as the themes are concerned. Then the setting of the play, that matters, and it matters to all the plays. The setting of the drama. So here the setting is a barren wasteland. That is the setting, and there is a road, and it is unknown. The whole area is unknown. It's unspecified. Then you must have a very clear idea about the characters. So Estragon and Latimer, they are the tramps. Estragon and Latimer. So you have to know their traits, their characteristics, their main features. What were their ages, what kind of physical description that they had, what were their what was their relation, what kind of conflict they were involved in, how they acted in, what kind of role they play in the drama. Then we have the role of a boy, that is also very much there. So these are the characters. So then the plot construction, is it a complex plot or a simple plot? Then these are the areas. When the play was written, it was actually not written in English language, then it was translated. Who translated it? When it was written, who wrote it? Samuel Beckett. You must have a very comprehensive knowledge about Samuel Beckett then. So these things like this, you have to apply these things on other texts that you have already read at your master's level. Then we have another thing. This is criticism paper is there. It's a compulsory paper. So right from Aristotle, right from Plato, Socrates, you must have a very comprehensive idea of how criticism starts. Then up to Philip Sidney, then move Dr. Johnson, then a bit further come up to Wordsworth, Coleridge, Tennyson is there, Seamus Heaney is there. So it's a sequence. In a sequence, criticism, it moves on, and it is an essential part of literary studies. So you should have a very comprehensive idea of all these literary critics that were included in your MA syllabus. Then comes a prose paper. As you know, it's again a compulsory paper. So which writers were there? Definitely Bacon was there, Swift was there, Edward Said was there, Seamus Heaney was there, or some other writers were there. These writers are included in MA English syllabus in Punjab University or almost in every other university. So you have to focus on them. You have to focus on these writers, their works, and the ideas that they have presented in these works. So sometimes there is a quote, and then you have to justify it. Okay, who, for example, Bertrand Russell is there, and as you people are familiar, he is very much related to the contemporary age or to the modern age, and he has written a lot on the scientific development of the age and the impact of these scientific inventions and discoveries on the modern man and the modern thinking and the modern ideas. So it's Bertrand Russell. Unpopular Essays, that is the work you are related with at master's level. So all these papers, then we have American Literature paper, that is a compulsory paper in MA English Part 1, the 5th paper. So definitely all the writers of this paper, American Literature, Hemingway is there. Yes, then we have some Sylvia Plath is a poetess. Then we have Toni Morrison, jazz is there, it's included in the syllabus. So you have to cover these areas. These writers, their works, their ages, their specific writing style. You have to make yourself familiar with all these things. So this is the area which is actually related with revision. It is the revision of your master's level syllabus. So whatever I have told at the beginning of my lecture, that was related to journal preparations, but this is related to your revision section, the revision side of this preparation, and it should be comprehensive preparation, mind it, not half-hearted attempt. You have to bring extra energy, you have to put in extra labor to understand all these things, to memorize them. One more thing is there, whatever you are going to read, whatever is being there presented to you, whatever is provided to you, you have to memorize the things. So it's a game of memory. MCQs will be there, though. On कीजिएगा. So the last area in this preparation for this paper is general knowledge. It will be of 20 marks, and then definitely we will deal with general knowledge as well. A lot of information is available with me, which I will share with you for this section, but we will take up it at the later stage. So let's start with today's topic, that was literary forms and genres. Genre means forms, variety in literature, and the first category, the first form of literary form, that is allegory. So allegory, what is that? It's a narrative in which literary meaning corresponds clearly and directly to symbolic meanings. That is allegory. And we have a very clear example of the Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan's. That is actually the Christian's journey from the city of destruction to the celestial city. The allegory is, it is actually a spiritual journey from sin to spiritual excellence, to holiness. So that is allegory. That is actually a narrative that clearly occupies that different symbolic meanings are being presented. Example is being quoted over here, which is very much there at your screen, so you will get a better idea what is meant by this term allegory. We have another story that is very popular by George Orwell, that is Animal Farm. This is a novella, a short novel, that is, it's allegorical. It has its journal literal meanings and symbolic meanings. So at symbolic level, it is also a story of moral corruption that is very much there, and George Orwell, he got a lot of fame from this work, Animal Farm. So that is also an allegory, and you should have a very clear idea that this is an example of allegory written by George Orwell. Then comes the second term, that is anecdote. Anecdote, and that is a part of this literary form that we call brief narration. Brief narration of a single event or incident, that is known as anecdote. A short story or a small story or a story that is related to a single topic. It's not a comprehensive, complicated story. It's a simple narration, a brief narration related to single event. This is important as far as this anecdote is concerned. Then we have another kind of writing that is known as aphorism. Aphorism, it is an concise expression. When we put some broader spectrum into a concise form, we call it aphorism. A concise expression of insight or wisdom, definitely. Aphorism is there, it means wisdom is there. Wisdom is there or insight is there. That may be spiritual insight, that may be moral insight. So whatever insight is there, it is very much there. So we have the vanity of others offend our taste only when it offends our vanity. Nietzsche, he has written this in Beyond Good and Evil. That is the book where he has written, the vanity of others offends our taste only when it offends our vanity. So that is a shortest possible sentence, a brief expression, but it is full of wisdom. Wisdom, you have to think, you have to ponder, you have to concentrate. Okay, what is going on and what is the idea that the writer wants to reflect. So it is definitely related about human sensibilities, human approach in general context. That's what we can say. Then the next kind of genre or the literary form is autobiography. You people will be familiar with biography and then autobiography. Biography is actually a piece of work which is non-fiction. Same is the case with autobiography. So autobiography and biography both belongs to non-fiction writings, non-fiction works that actually tells the story of a person's life. And by that very person, if it is autobiography, so the person himself will be the writer. About whose story it is. If it is my story and I am writing my own story with my own pen, so that will become autobiography. So Saint Augustine's Confessions, that Confessions is a autobiography. We have a lot of autobiographies. My Struggle, Hitler's biography. Masters, Friends Not Masters, that is the biography, autobiography of Ayub Khan, I think. In the Line of Fire, it was recently published, General Musharraf's, it was In the Line of Fire. So great people, they have written their autobiographies. So this is a common genre in literature as well as in language as well. So let's come to another term, that is ballad. So ballad is actually related to poetry. It is related to poetry. It is generally considered as a folk song. Folk song, telling the story of a legend in simple language. Ballad is traditionally a folk song which is told which is actually about some legend in simple language and often with a refrain. And a number of poets outside of the folk tradition have adopted the ballad form. So you may say it's a very common lyrical ballads, that is the poetic work of Wordsworth. I hope you people are familiar with. If you are not familiar with, then you should be familiar with lyrical ballads, that is Wordsworth poetic publication. S.T. Coleridge is also there. You will have some poems by S.T. Coleridge in the same work. That was a co-effort by S.T. Coleridge and Wordsworth. Lyrical ballads. So ballad is a folk song telling a story or legend in a simple language, often with a refrain. So we have an example of The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It's a very, very popular, very, very common poem by S.T. Coleridge. The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It's a ballad. So you should have a very clear idea what kind of poetic expression ballad is. It is a song telling the story of a legend in simple language, and it is absolutely different from epic poetry. It is absolutely different from lyrical poetry. Though it is very much near to, ballad is very much near to lyric or lyrical poetry, but it is a bit different. So this is a poetic form of poetry, and this genre is quite popular in English literature. So then comes biography. As I have told you, autobiography is there. Then the biography, that is again a genre, very common, very popular. So here anybody, any writer, he or she may write about the life story of another person who himself is not a writer, who himself is not involved in that writing, but some third person or a distant observer is writing about his or her life. That is, or usually biographies are written about some famous known people. Their biographies are usually popular. Keep it in mind one thing, okay, biography and autobiography, both are non-fictional. They are real life experiences, real life stories, real life observations of a person's life. It may be the biography of a common man, or it may be the biography of a known individual, historical figure, or a famous journal or this and that. So that is known as biography. थोड़ा सा इसको speed up करेंगे, और we are almost running short of time. थोड़ा सा speed up करें इसको. चलो. So this is the major difference. Autobiography is written by the person himself, and the biography is written by somebody else. So you have to keep in your mind, this is the major difference between both these genres. नहीं अभी भी नहीं हुआ, वो उसी स्पीड पे चल रहा है. Allegory is another term. It is a narrative description and which literally means corresponds clearly and directly to the symbolic meaning. Literal meanings and symbolic meanings. That is the Pilgrim's Progress. We have already done it. Your page वही आ गया है, Mr. Aphorism is there, a concise expression of the insight or wisdom. We have already done it. Then autobiography is there, non-fictional story of a person's life, which is told by that person. We have millions of autobiographies available around us. So it all depends upon you, okay, how much interest you take. Sometimes it is said that history is an expression of autobiography. It is actually, history is a collection of autobiographies. So this is Ballad, a folk song telling the story of a legend in a simple language. Then we have this biography, that is very much there. It is again the non-fictional story, because keep it in mind one thing, most of the students in journal at intermediate level or even at master's level, they think Goodbye Mr. Chips, Mr. Chips was a real human being, he was a real character. But keep it in mind, it's not a biography, it's a novel, it's fiction. So we don't have the real characters. There is inspiration. Such characters were very much there from the past. After this we have this burlesque, that is another term. Burlesque is actually a humorous imitation. It's a humorous imitation of a serious work of literature. For example, Alexander's Pope, The Rape of the Lock. It uses the high diction of the epic poetry. That is actually a very good example of burlesque. Then we have another term that is confessional poetry. Confessional poetry is actually the psychological expression of the inner emotions of the poet. And Sylvia Plath is quite famous and quite frank. ये एक ही पेज रिपीट हो रहा है, अगला ने मूव किया वो. Confessional poets, so they are very frank, they have unusual frankness in their poetic expression, so they bring their personal worries, personal sins, the personal you may say guilty conscience to the reader. That is the confessional poetry, and the Robert Lowell's life studies, that is one example of this confessional poetry. Then we have another term that is didactic literature. So didactic literature is actually intended to instruct or to educate, that is for educational purposes, didactic literature. So Virgil's Georgics, it contains advice in verse form, so it was also a tradition in the past. Okay, most of the writers, they used literature for didactic purposes, for instructional purposes. That was very much there. Then we have another form, that is dirge. Dirge is actually a short poetic expression. It is a form of poetry, and D-A-R-G-E, short poetic expression of grief. We have another term which is very much there related to dirge, that is elegy. Elegy is also one such poem where we have such poetic expression of sadness and grief. So a lot of writings are there as far as this category is concerned. So dirge differs from an elegy, and in that it often is embedded within a larger work, in less highly structured, and is meant to be sung. So dirge is actually a part of a larger narrative structure. It may be a part of a drama, it may be the part of a novel. We have Ariel's song, Full Fathom 5, that applies in Shakespeare's The Tempest. So that is the best example of dirge. Then let's come to the most important term, that is drama. So drama is a composition that is meant to be performed. This composition can be in verse form or in prose form. In both the forms you can have this expression. And drama is rather in broader term, it includes some forms that may not strictly be very much there in play. So it is actually a story which can define the action, the setting can maybe there on the stage. Direction is also associated with this kind of story. So drama, play, comedy, epic theatre, farce, medical plays, morality plays, mystery plays, problem plays, tragedies, tragic comedies, one-act plays, all these expressions are very much there, but we are running short of time. So let me conclude this session for today. We will wind up कर दीजिएगा इसको. We will discuss all these things in our next session inshallah at some other time. So that's enough for today. I hope you got the idea how you have to prepare for your upcoming PPSC exam. So that is a competition, and you must have a good spirit to appear in that competition with full confidence that you have prepared comprehensively. Okay ji, thank you so much for today.